Connecticut, home of the insurance industry.
Get up, put it in the brain, and you don't feel no more pain. It ain't nothing to survive, just ourselves. You either live or die.
Now other agents flourish in Hartford, gang members whose policies are drugs and death. There was less danger in this city, and others like it, even 3 years ago. But many who could have fled by now, seeking safety in the suburbs, leaving behind the poor and the projects and the often violent ends for lives from the street.
Pipe Santana. All that's left of this 24-year-old is his name. Graffiti on a wall. There was a gang standoff on this corner in downtown Hartford. Pipe was trying to walk away when he was shot in the back. Some of you may be saying, oh, another gang member killed? Good riddance. But you didn't know Pipe Santana.
This home video was shot just before his murder. Pipe was a very good athlete, and he was a lot more.
That Pipe was the toughest gang member physically, the most powerful, could do the most damage, the most harm, and he was the most feared. But
Mark Rivera, the cop who arrested Pipe and later mourned his death.
He never wanted to hurt people, and I watched this many times in the gym. When kids would fight, he would break it up.
Pipe had a family like everyone's, but there was another family too. He was in a Latino gang, Los Solidos, the Solids. Despite his own size and strength, as a gang leader, he relied on charisma and charm. He had plenty of both, friends say, and that's how in high school he won the love of Maria Ayala, a young woman from a much different background.
First time we met, I knew it was, I was in love with him. I wanted to be with him. And we were so different. We were so opposites.
Is that what attracted you to him in the beginning?
What attracted to me was that he was wild. He was different. He was rough, the wild guy hanging out in the streets, and I wasn't brought up with that.
For a long time, she tried to pull him into her world, where he would be safe from gang violence.
I told him, I said, let's pack up and let's leave. Oh, I was willing to leave my job. I was willing to just pick up and leave.
But ultimately, Pipe did not leave gang life until it killed him. He was shot dead by someone from the rival gang, the Latin Kings. 300 members of Los Solidos marched at his funeral. The procession through Hartford took 3 hours. It was the farewell for a beloved gang idol.
Are we in danger of romanticizing him, giving him hero status that he doesn't deserve?
It was a very good part to Pipe's soul, and maybe given different circumstances, Pipe could have been a true hero in our eyes.
The gang buried Pipe and then swore revenge. A gang war followed with nearly 300 shootings and more than 24 murders.
When you think about his grave, doesn't that make you want to stop the violence, stop what eventually cost him his life?
Sometimes I want to stop.
Los Solidos President George Rivera, 24, knows about gang war casualties.
It's not so easy. We took a big loss.
And what about all these shootings that have happened after his death? Were they revenge shootings?
Yeah.
How do you feel about them?
It's bad that it happened, but there's no way we can stop it now.
George is never alone. For our interview, Los Solidos sent 2 members to protect him and to monitor what was said about what they call the family.
Once you're in, once you're a full member, what are your responsibilities?
My responsibilities? Loyalty.
Does that loyalty include protection for one another?
Yes.
And protection sometimes gets dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Are you ever afraid?
Sometimes.
When are you most afraid?
When I go home at night and think about the next day.
This is South Hartford and a section of the projects that is Los Solidos territory. on a normal day, we ask, and this is what happened. George and his driver went cruising. The car, any car, is his office. The one necessity, a cellular phone, in almost constant use. Cautious about our camera and microphone, he turns up the radio so we can't hear his conversation. But there's little hesitation when they pull out what they call smoke. George is making what's called a blunt, a cigar split open, the tobacco dumped out, and then repacked with marijuana.
Our ways are not the best ways, but they're the only ways we got or that we know, so we got to work with them so we find other ways.
Can we talk candidly, honestly about drugs?
What about drugs?
Tell me what the situation is with drugs in your neighborhood.
It's bad. You can't stop it. We have to deal with it.
Key question. George, have you ever sold drugs?
Yes. I saw George for a while.
Is it fair to say, is it accurate to say that you got out?
No.
Why do it? Why not get out?
Money.
Is there any way you can make as much money doing something else?
No.
I have heard people in Washington and other places say, quote, "We are winning the drug war," unquote. Now you live it every day. Is that true?
Quote, they're not.
If that sounds bold, here's the fact. By last summer, George Rivera had already been arrested more than 50 times, but helped by good lawyers and overcrowded courts, he'd spent just 2 months in jail. A weekend night in the projects. Family time for Los Solidos. Few gang members actually make a lot of money selling drugs. What they do get here is a sense of belonging. They accept each other. They share tattoos, wear the colors, red and blue, and the special Los Solidos metal link belts. But even George admits this is one family where children don't belong.
I think their parents should move from there.
But their parents can't move them out of those projects. Where would they go?
Somewhere safer.
George should know how appealing it all looks to young eyes. The cars, the secret signs and symbols they show each other. He was 9 years old when he followed his father into gang life. Are you in so deep now that you couldn't get out if you wanted to?
Yes.
It's not tough to be in a gang and pull a trigger and do something cowardly like that. It doesn't take any toughness to sell drugs. It's tough to wake up every day and go to work and be responsible.